Hey guys, it's Troy. Welcome to another episode. Why you must learn real life skills in 2025 or die out. Why you must learn real life skills or die out. It's because I'm afraid we are living in an internet saturated world. We're living in a world that is increasingly controlled by our tech overlords and their platforms. And, you know, some of those platforms are very good. They've given me a career, which is fantastic, and I'm very grateful for that. But at the same time, we are living in a disconnected world where increasingly people don't talk to one another anymore. Okay, people don't talk to one another anymore, and we are losing the art of socializing. We're losing the art of having conversations with people, and that's a very sad thing, right? It's a sad thing for society, but equally it's a sad thing for your dating experience, because how are you going to meet people? How do you meet people now? The average person, right? The average person watching this, or maybe not the average person watching this, but somebody new to watching a channel like mine probably thinks, well, the only way that you can conceivably meet people in 2025 is via dating apps, okay? Because and it's really weird, because when you're older like me, I still remember the time when online dating was regarded as this slightly weird thing, you know, this slightly loserish sort of thing that only creepy, desperate people did. And now we've got this complete sort of switcheroo whereby there's almost a perception, not entirely, but there's almost a perception that dating apps are the only game in town, and that meeting people in real life is now odd and the outlier. That is countered somewhat though by, if you actually talk to women in real life, you find out that a lot of them, they say, you know, I'd actually love to meet somebody in real life. I'd love it if somebody came up to me and told me I look beautiful, or I look stylish, or I look cool, and, you know, asked me out for a drink. I'd love to meet someone organically like that, because women are fed up with the dating apps too, okay? And as I've said in other videos, I mean, the reality of the situation is that dating apps are losing followers, right? They're losing revenue. They're losing traction. You know, they don't appear to be as popular with anybody as they were a few years ago. So I don't really know as a society where that leaves us, because we thought we'd found the solution, which is we've got these wonderful apps and you can just swipe a load of people and then you'll meet your future, you know, love of your life. But now people are not satisfied with that either. But they've also lost the art of being able to talk in real life. Fewer people seem to be going out now, okay? I've observed that, obviously traveling around quite a lot around the world. It does feel a little bit like post-pandemic that people aren't going out quite as much as they used to. I mean, you can still go to places, bars are busy, clubs are busy, stuff like that. Yeah, for sure, restaurants, there's stuff going on. But, I mean, overall, you know, some of these videos, you'll notice I'm walking around central London. I mean, admittedly, in some slightly quieter areas recently, but it's not like the streets are awash with people. If I went to Oxford Street, it would be. But, you know, it feels like there are a few people out. We're socializing less, we're sitting behind screens more, and we're not engaging with each other in the way that we used to. But if you pin your hopes of meeting a partner, if that's what you want, you know, meeting somebody to bond with, meeting somebody maybe to, you know, to form a long-term relationship, get married, settle down, whatever it is that you personally want, and you're pinning all of that on dating apps, on technology, then you're kind of backing a losing horse, I'm afraid. And it's not just me saying that, it's the market saying it, right? You know, Google, look up reports on the share prices of the major dating apps. Look at reports on the user base of the major dating apps, right? They're all going one way, and it's not up, okay? They're all going down. So something's going on, okay? This isn't just hyperbole from me. You know, something's going on. and it's not very positive as far as those apps are concerned. So what have you got left, really? If you're not going to man up and talk to people in real life, well, there's social circle, right? There's social circle, so you might have a friendship group, okay? You could have parties regularly, you can meet people through that. I've explained in other videos, though, that social circle is not necessarily the nirvana that you might think, because there can be conflicts of interest there can be, political aspects to that, there can be problems with social circle, right? Whereas when you meet somebody who's a stranger, okay, and this is what we used to do back in the day, you'd go on a night out and you'd go and talk to people, and you'd meet people that you had no prior connection with at all. When you meet somebody who's a complete stranger, you don't have those conflicts of interest. You don't have that, oh, she used to go out with my best friend and that's a bit awkward and blah, blah, blah. You don't have any of that, right? These are just new people that you organically bring into your life. And in a way, that's one of the great beauties of life as well, that you can meet people. I suppose you could argue this about the apps as well, but the apps aren't working very well. You can meet people who are random, in a sense, entirely new, but you bring them into your life and then they offer you a completely new perspective, a completely new experience. And if you develop the skill set of being able to walk up and just talk to people in real life and start engaging magnetic conversations with them, then that puts you in an amazing position, okay? That puts you in the top tiny percentile of men worldwide, because most guys can't do it, they don't really want to do it, they don't think it's possible, it's just not really in their purview at all, okay? Whereas if you could walk in and give it the old, the suave James Bond kind of international man of mystery vibe, and you walk up and talk to her and charm her, all right? And charm is so important. If you walk up to her and charm her, then that's an incredible thing. It's an incredibly potent thing. It's a thing that women love, it's a thing that men respect, and it's a hack, because suddenly you haven't outsourced your love life to an algorithm, okay? You haven't outsourced your love life to a company whose profits are based largely on trying to keep you on the app, therefore not happy and not with somebody you want to be with, okay? And when you think about it in those terms, it seems kind of ridiculous that we've outsourced what is arguably the most important aspect of our lives, our romantic lives, the relationships we have with other people, the intimate relationships we have with other people, second only to our families, are the most important relationships we will ever have in our lives on this planet. And within a generation, we outsourced all of that to a bunch of profit-hungry companies who sought to make money out of it. It seems sort of incredible, but that's what happened. We seem to be pulling away from that a bit now, but if you are relying on that as being, okay, well, I'll just keep spinning the wheel on the apps and hopefully something will turn up, that's not a great strategy, because as I said, the apps are losing ground anyway, all right? Regardless of what you may think or what I may think, the apps are losing ground. Now, maybe they'll pull it back round somehow, I don't know. But something's going on, all right? People, men and women, complain about the apps for different reasons. People don't like them, okay? And understandably so. So, if you don't develop the skill set of being able to talk to people in real life, to have presence, to be able to draw people into your reality, to be able to flirt effectively, to be able to create emotion in the people that you meet, you are going to die out. I mean, not literally, I don't, but I mean, figuratively, you're going to die out. And I mean, if you take it to the worst successes, how are you going to meet someone with whom to maybe have a family one day, if that's what you want, okay? I mean, it's very difficult. So I would say that this skill set is not only important now, it's actually essential. And it's becoming even more important given the current technological climate that we find ourselves in, which is only going to increase. I mean, God knows what the effects of AI and everything is going to be on this, but it's not going to be any good. Let's face it. You know, we're going to have more probably like fake AI accounts and things like that, messing up the game. And yeah, it's tricky. It's a tricky situation. So you need to upskill yourself. If you're not upskilled in this stuff, you need to upskill yourself. Okay, you need to get good at interpersonal, real life encounters, and that's exactly what we teach. Okay, so if you're interested in talking about some coaching, you can email me, troy@realtroyfrancis.com. Otherwise, do subscribe to the channels if you haven't already. Give me a comment, give me a like. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys again very soon. Bye bye.